All right, I just got back from my day 30, looking badly and risking rejection, and I really wanted something that was going to be big for my finale, so I decided to look like a bum and go out there and ask for change and see what happens. And wow, um, it was it was kind of like a life changing experience. First, I made up some just some funny signs, and I was just out there. And my roommate came out, and we did some photo shooting over a bridge as I tried to get people in cars to give me something or to notice me to see what might happen. But I knew that was kind of a slim shot. But then my roommate went to the Sprint store to get a phone, and I decided to stand out there and just hold my sign up. And your picture's above, obviously, but I put "We'll revive economy with spare change," and I was just the first. People would walk by and not say anything, but then this car drove by with a mom and two daughters, and the daughters just lit up when they saw me. It was just, you could tell it was something so out of their normal experience. They were just so happy to and so intrigued by the prospect of seeing either a homeless person or a poor person or whoever I was in their mind. And they came running out, and they had ice creams in their hands, ice cream cones, and they each gave me a quarter, and it was just, they were so happy to give it to me, and it felt so good to receive. And then another lady was passing by, and I was just like, "Hey, you want to help stimulate the economy?" And she said, "I don't know, I don't usually carry change on me." And so she reached into her fanny pack and pulled out like a handful of change and just gave it to me. And before she did that, I was like, "Yeah, you got to start at the bottom. It's like trickle-down economics, but the opposite." And then so she gave me that handful of change, and then like a minute or two later, the guy from one of the stores came out and said, "Sir, you can't be out here asking people for money." And so I said, "Okay." And so I packed up and I went and I sat down on the stoop, waiting for my roommate to finish up with the Sprint store and things like that. But like a few seconds after I sat down, I was actually texting my roommate to tell him what was happening, and this guy came up from behind me, and he gave me $3 in cash, and it was like the most unexpected thing, and it felt so, it just felt like pure compassion, and I don't know if I've ever been on the receiving end of that kind of compassion, in the sense that it was totally, there was no grounds for it other than that he wanted to give. And help a stranger out, and that's what made it so much more pure than like receiving money on my birthday or having someone lend me money or something like that. But this was just somebody didn't even know me. I'm just some guy on the street. He didn't know my situation. He didn't question me or anything. He just came up to me and gave me $3. And then he went on and did whatever he was doing. And as he was leaving, he came back and he gave me this ice cold water with ice in it, and he said, "Here, bro, you thirsty?" And I was like, "Oh man, I have a water in my bag. So if you want that, you can have it." He's like, "Nah, man, this is ice cold. You gotta have this." And so I got water of it, and I just gave a legitimate, heartfelt thank you to him. And it was just so. And then I started to feel almost bad because potentially I'm being deceitful with what I'm doing, because I'm not as poor as I made myself look out to be, but at the same time, I mean, what an experience to just see life from the eyes of from a totally different perspective, and to be seen as somebody who's totally different, and it just made me wonder, what ways can I give? What ways can I make a difference? How many other strangers' lives can I touch, through both the work that I'm doing with my experiments and through just getting out into the world and connecting with people and making a difference in a stranger's life. And now that I know how big of a difference that can make firsthand, it's just an inspirational experience that makes me want to pay it forward and to just give to a stranger without any expectation of wanting to give back, wanting to get anything back, and just let that energy flow freely. And it felt so good to experience that from the receiving end.